Flourishing in a warm greenhouse, these look like ordinary tomato plants, but they have vitamin D added by a gene editing process.
This is vitamin D tomato, and this is the normal tomato. You can't really tell the difference just by looking. So what we're doing here...
Chinese student Ji Li is a researcher at the John Innes Centre. She says these vitamin-enriched tomatoes could help solve a global problem of vitamin D deficiency.
I'm quite excited about the vitamin D-enriched tomatoes. Firstly, it provides a dietary source as a food source of vitamin D, which is it's a vegan-friendly and plant-based vitamin D source.
Tomato plants naturally have the basis for low levels of vitamin D. Now, scientists have learned how to boost it in the fruit itself.
By using gene editing, we precisely switched off one gene, which converts the provitamin D3 to other molecules in plants. By doing so, we are able to accumulate provitamin D3 in tomatoes.
The gene-edited tomato plant leaves are high in vitamin D2, meaning they could be used to produce food supplements. The centre is conducting trials on wheat too. The aim, to develop strains resistant to conditions like extreme heat.
The future of some of our food could be here in this lab. Researchers believe that gene editing technology could one day help overcome some of the global food issues linked to climate change.
The UK government says changing existing EU laws on gene editing will allow scientists greater potential to develop ideas. But not everyone backs the idea of gene editing. A recent government poll showed over a third of the British public found the process unacceptable.
All of the concerns that we have about first generation GM are being repeated with the so-called gene-edited GMOs. So there's some new techniques, but it's the same model.
The new law to regulate gene editing could be passed by this summer, but those opposed to it are concerned about insufficient labelling and controls.
What the government are proposing is a mass deregulation. So that's the removal of independent safety checks, the removal of traceability. So, these GMOs will be let out into the environment with no control and no monitoring whatsoever.
If the legislation changes, these gene-edited tomatoes could be on supermarket shelves in around 2 years' time. The UK government says it's committed to high food safety standards and assures there is no health risk. Whether the consumer will choose the unknown remains to be seen. Kitty Logan, CGTN, Norwich.